Let us continue walking together into the desert, where the Cahuilla people have lived for thousands of years among the mountains and valleys of Southern California. Here, the sun teaches endurance, the springs whisper of the sacred, and every stone and wind-blown seed carries a lesson about balance. These are not merely teachings to hear, but truths to embody, clear as desert air, ancient as the mountains themselves. Breathe deeply. Let yourself settle. The desert is patient. The owl knows your name. In Cahuilla tradition, Mut, the spirit of the dead, often appears as an owl. When you hear an owl call your name, it is a reminder of mortality, a visit from the realm of those who have passed on. This is not meant to terrify, but to teach. The owl asks you to remember, your time here is limited. Death is not a failure or a punishment, it is the natural end of the cycle, as inevitable as sunrise. The Cahuilla do not turn away from death. They hold elaborate ceremonies to honor it, to help the dead on their journey, to help the living process their grief and return to balance. They understand that denying death only makes you smaller, more afraid, less alive. When you remember you will die, you become more present to the life you have now. You waste less time on what doesn't matter. You speak the truths that need speaking. You love more freely because you know it is not infinite. The owl's call is not a threat, it is an invitation to live with awareness of your mortality, and therefore with greater appreciation for each day you are given. What would you do differently if you truly accepted that your time here is limited? What fears would lose their power if you stopped pretending death won't come? 2. The basket carries a story. Every Cahuilla basket tells a story through its design, the patterns chosen, the colors woven in, the way one woman's hands differ from another's. Two women might weave the same basic form, but the baskets will be different because each weaver brings her own spirit, her own story, her own particular way of seeing beauty. The baskets are not just functional containers, they are visual philosophy, autobiography woven into fiber. Each woman's basket expresses who she is, what she values, what she has learned. The Cahuilla understand that how you make something reveals how you move through the world. A patient weaver creates patient baskets. A meticulous person creates meticulous work. An anxious heart produces anxious patterns. This is not judgment, it is simply observation. Your work, your creations, your daily actions all carry your signature, all tell the story of who you are in this moment. What story are you weaving right now through your choices, your work, your way of being? If your life were a basket and someone examined the patterns, what would they learn about the person who wove it? The night must come. In the Cahuilla creation stories, when Mukut the creator died, death entered the world. This was necessary. Before Mukut's death, there was no change, no cycle, no transformation. His death taught humanity that endings are not mistakes, they are essential to the pattern. Day must become night. Summer must yield to winter. Growth must give way to rest. Nothing can bloom forever. The Cahuilla accept this in ways that modern culture struggles with. They do not frantically try to make summer last or prevent the coming of night. They work with the cycles, moving with what each season offers, trusting that what ends will also return in new form. When you resist necessary endings, relationships that have completed, projects that need releasing, identities you have outgrown, you create suffering. The wisdom is in learning to recognize when something's season has passed, and allowing the night to come so that a new day can eventually dawn. What are you holding on to past its natural ending? What would it mean to honor that ending rather than fight it, trusting that the cycle will continue and something new will eventually emerge? For, take only what you need. The Cahuilla harvested carefully from the land, never stripping all the acorns from one tree, never taking more yucca than they could use, always leaving enough for the plants to regenerate and for other beings to eat. This was not optional conservation, it was sacred law. To take more than you need is to break relationship with the land, to treat it as object rather than relative, to demonstrate that you do not understand your place in the web of life. This principle extends beyond physical resources. How much energy do you take from others without giving back? How much time do you waste on things that don't truly nourish you? How much anxiety do you create by accumulating more than you can actually use or appreciate? The Cahuilla practice of enough is not about scarcity or deprivation, it is about clarity. When you know what you actually need, you stop chasing what you don't. When you take only enough, you leave room for others. When you live in balance with what the land offers, you find a peace that excess never provides. Where are you taking more than you need, whether that's physical stuff, emotional energy, or time spent on what doesn't serve you? What might open up if you practice the discipline of enough? Five. The bird song maps the way. The Cahuilla bird songs are not simple melodies, they are encoded histories, sung maps of migration and relationship, archives of how the people moved through the landscape and what they learned from each place. The songs carry memory across generations. They connect the singers to ancestors, to land, to the original journeys that shaped who the Cahuilla are. When you sing the bird songs, you are not just making music, you are walking an ancient path, retracing steps taken by those who came before, remembering the relationship between people and place. Your own life has these songs too, though you may not recognize them. The stories you tell yourself about where you came from, what you've survived, who your people are, these are your bird songs. They map the territory of your identity. They connect you to something larger than your individual existence. The question is, what songs are you singing? Are they true songs that honor the full complexity of your journey, or are they songs of shame, songs that diminish you, songs inherited from others who didn't understand your worth? The Cahuilla teach that songs have power to shape reality. Sing songs that honor your path, that acknowledge both struggle and beauty, that connect you to the larger story you are part of. What story are you telling about yourself? If your life were a song passed down to future generations, what would you want it to say?